Hey, what's up, guys? Get that out of the ear. It is July 28th, man, coming up at the end of the month. Man, it's amazing how fast things are going. It's been a wild month. Let me just tell you, had people out sick. It's just, between, with mom getting back at it, then my daughter got well, and then Ellen was out, and I've had a couple more out. It's been something. It's been a tough month. It's been a real tough month. I've got one of my processors out, and there's a lot of people trying to help and jump in, trying to reallocate resources. So this is definitely a tough time for us, but we're still slugging out. I appreciate the patience. I appreciate the trust. Appreciate you guys backing me up. Background here, different than what I've been showing. This is actually a buddy of mine, Derek's place. And I helped him get the loan on this years ago. And it was a really tough loan to get this house closed from his primary residence. I told him I expect to see my picture on the mantle. Well, finally it happened. So here we go. I'm putting it out there for the whole world. I finally got there. I actually got the cover of this investor review magazine from, I think, Realty Magazine. It's kind of a spin of theirs. So I was able to get on that cover. It was a different shot from when I was taking this shot for the cover of Quit Jerking Off. So I got a little bit of a different shot there where I was just kind of sitting there leaning, and my brother-in-law Jim took that shot. And so I gave that to, I think, Realty to put on that magazine, which I thought was awesome that they did. That's really cool they did that. I gave a copy to Derek and said, here you go. I can finally get on your mantle. And he shot me this picture. So here it is. The whole world gets to see I got on that. Let's take a look at the market real quick. We did see some really negative movement in the mortgage-backed securities later last week, which was really kind of crazy because I was out for a couple days shooting for the other YouTube show, the Quit Jerking Off initiative that I'm doing here. So if you take a look at this, we did see a significant drop. It looked like that was Friday. We took that beating, right? It took a major hit. I was out. I was nowhere near a computer, so I didn't even get a chance to see it. And then it started to work its way back, and you look right back, crawled right back up the trend line, right up to where we were. So it's following that trend line. It's really interesting to see how that's doing. So interest rates are still keeping fairly stable. We did see a negative hit on Friday, but I wasn't locking anything on Friday, so it worked out pretty well for us. I was actually pretty happy with how that went. Now, as far as all the news that's out there and that's affecting the market, I don't have a whole lot of data right now. It's just, I've been so slammed. I have not had a chance to absorb what's happening out there, because with team members being out, having to juggle and trying to catch up on things and help moving some of those files. They're kind of behind right now, which I apologize there. We're getting on top of it, guys. Reallocating those resources. I did, of course, kind of miss some things. You can hear that emails coming in, ding like crazy here. So I haven't figured out a way to mute that, but then also still pick up my voice. So we're gonna have to deal with that kind of thing. Qualifying basics. We're gonna do basics number 4 here today. We're gonna talk about income. Often people are trying to figure out, how do I figure out a debt to income ratio? The easiest way is to look at the payments that you're making. Housing, whether it be rent or a payment on your home. Then look at your auto payments, right? Student loans, credit cards, anything that you have borrowed money for and you have a debt to pay back, that is what we're looking at, your debt to income ratio. So you'll add all those up, right? So you add all those up and divide it by your gross monthly income. Your gross income, we're not looking at after you pay your taxes, because that's where we go with a ratio. Then you'll figure out what your ratio is, because we have to keep it within, say, a 45% ratio. So let's say you make $10,000 a month. That means you could reasonably have $4,500 in expenses, debt expenses, car payment, credit card, housing payment. Now your housing payments, taxes, insurance, all that has to be part of that. And then if you're at that ratio or better, then you know that we're in a good lendable position. Now we have to factor, if you're buying a new house, you have to take in, what's the cost of the new house going to be? What's that payment going to be? Add that to your house, your car payments, student loans, credit cards, and is that going to fall under that ratio, right? The other thing is we also have to have what they call, there's 2 different ratios, a front end ratio and a back end ratio. The front end ratio is your housing ratio. You can't have too much of your income all go to housing, right? If you have, even we're talking about a 45% ratio here, let's say on a $10,000 a month income, and I'm using these as round numbers to make it easy to calculate. And if you did a $4,500 a month payment, count on that probably not getting approved, because that's the majority of your entire ratio being used for one thing. What happens when you get a credit card? What happens when you get a car, right? So it definitely can have an issue with that. So you want to be cognizant of that, trying to keep that down into 36 or lower, right? $3,600 a month in that or lower. That's a big payment. That's a really big payment. So the other thing we need to consider is why that ratio, right? Why do we want to keep it 45 or lower? Now, I have seen things go up to 49.99 for real estate investors. We've done that a lot, but that's, we can count rents, all that. And I'll get into counting rents in a different one, how we use that. In fact, that's going to be our next one, talking about the rents. So when you're looking at the ratio, why are we going with a ratio? Why are we going with a percentage of your income towards your debt? Well, think about the rest of your income. You got to be able to pay for your phone bills. You have to pay for your utilities. You got to pay for water. You got to pay for food. You got to have all your other living expenses within that ratio. So we don't want all of your income going to debt. That puts you in a bad position. That's bad business for all of us. Bad business for you. Bad business for us. We want to make it to where you can still comfortably meet your debt obligations and your new debt obligation to who we get the money from to loan you money. But also, you have to be able to live, right? If you're just having to work all the time just to pay for a house you're never in, that sucks. So let's think of, that's why we have these ratios and we're dealing with that. So we always tell everybody, if you really want to look at qualifying, take all your debt, multiply that times 2.2. If that's what your income is, then you should be okay. It's kind of a backwards way of looking at it. Another cool thing I want to throw out there, not only, we have the magazine cover, but the books, guys. Awesome thing just happened with respect to the books. Those people who have bought these sent me pictures of you holding them. I sincerely appreciate that. But check this out. I finally got my very first royalty check. I've got the royalty. These are the 4 different books for the first 4 royalty checks when these books sold. They give me the breakdown. My publisher did 199 copies sold within the first 2 months. That's February and March of this year. Got the check, $464.98. There's the copy of what was written to the Len Foundation, $464.98 to the Len Foundation. I appreciate you guys helping me support them. We're going to be supporting other charities, but I want to put that out there. The Len Foundation, look them up. LENN Foundation. It has to do with cerebral palsy. And I appreciate you guys helping me support this cause. And I appreciate the trust and the constant, constantly bringing us into your business and helping us to be successful as we work hard to help you become successful as well. Thank you.